Long now has mankind looked up to the skies and wondered if we are alone in this universe. Many miraculous things have been spotted all over the world, reported by our militaries, and sparked great debates amongst ourselves. I am here to tell you that, ladies and gentlemen, people of Earth, brothers and sisters of all races, all countries, that we are not alone. We have never been alone. That some higher power has sought to spread the gift of life throughout the universe and beyond all comprehension. It is in these times we must learn to love one another. We must not share hate, but joy. We must not inhibit, but we must grow. These beings are our friends. They are our family. They want to help us become better, to see the true potential of mankind. And for maybe one day, we will join them in their voyage to help other beings from other star systems. As shocking as this news may be, it is nothing new. Our governments of the world have known for quite some time that we are not alone in this universe, and we have had contact for many of years, slowly preparing the American public and the publics of the world for such revelation. We are not alone, and we are about to embark on the greatest journey mankind has ever experienced. Ladies and gentlemen, we have contact.
Welcome everybody to We Have Contact. Welcome Dakota and welcome Cassius to the special show tonight. How are you, Cassius? How's things?
Pardon me, sorry?
Starting to slow down, man.
How are you tonight, Cassius? How are you today? I
Oh,
need to try and speak more American, you know.
Yo, I am so good. I am super excited and I'm so glad to be here. That intro was really fire, by the way.
I know.
Who made that? Wow.
That's me.
Props to you, bro.
I'm the one that makes this place look good.
Yeah. I would like to welcome everybody in the chat, guys. You're in for a treat tonight because we're going to be talking about many things in the supernatural world of UFOs and obviously Dakota's favourite subject. So, Dakota, without further ado, would you like to take over, Captain?
That I shall. And be sure to share this out, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a very special surprise later that maybe we can get Cassius help on if he's down for it. But for all the new people that are joining us, because we have expanded quite a bit since you were last on, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Cassius?
Well, I work on social media. I am focused on astral projection, extraterrestrials. You guys can follow me on Instagram. It's I'm King Cash, or follow me on TikTok. It's King Cassius. And I've recently, like just these past few months, been really delving more into consciousness and upgrading, you know, my whole consciousness as a whole. And it's been interesting to see the journey and to see how much different you see the world when your consciousness opens up. So really, me as a person, I've been really diving into consciousness and finding out who we are in the universe and stuff like that.
I've added your link to your channel, King Cassius, on YouTube, guys. It's in the chat. Could you please all go and give him a subscribe? Because this guy is awesome. And please go to TikTok, because honestly, your videos on TikTok are awesome, Cassius.
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. And yes, you guys, I would love to make the community larger. Like, this is all I want to talk about. Like you were saying, this is Dakota's favorite topic. This is my favorite topic too. So super hyped to see you guys join my community as well.
A question for you, Cassius. How did you get into this? What was the first, how can I say this? What was the first experience for you in this field?
I honestly didn't really have any like massive experiences. I remember I just started digging into astral projection. Like I was
Yeah.
really religious about 8 or 9 years ago, and then I
Yeah.
heard astral projection. I was like, I just, my soul knew it was real. I just knew it was real, so I started digging into it, and then that's when I started having, really vivid dreams.
Right.
And then I was already an empath as well, so I
Oh,
was already feeling people's energies a lot. And now that I've delved into that and like trying to work it out, now it's getting stronger, and like I feel energies everywhere.
yeah.
So I think my biggest experience would be like feeling people's energies and understanding how real it is, because
Yeah.
everybody thinks it's so mystical, but really it's like when you experience it, you can't deny it anymore
Yeah.
because it's always spot on and real.
Yep.
So energy for me, wow.
I mean, what would you say was your best experience in the astral plane, the astral traveling? What would you say was the pinnacle, the best one for you?
That was, I know exactly what experience you want me to say. So so that one I posted on my YouTube where I talk about how I thought it was a dream my whole life. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was a dream, but really, I remember getting up out of my bed and hearing this humming above my room.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And so I went outside to go look, and there was this huge triangular spaceship above my room.
Wow.
And I thought it was so real that I was like, I really thought I was there. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, like there's a spaceship right here. Like I'm seeing one in real life. And I got excited and I woke up in my bed and I was like, I did not, I promise you, I got up on my bed and walked to go see that thing. So
Yeah.
for so long, I was sitting there trying to decipher. And then after that, and that was right after I started digging into CE5. So I thought that was a
Yeah.
weird synchronicity. And from that, that's when I started getting, weird interactions with people who didn't feel like they're from this planet. At first I thought I was
Yeah.
mad, but I was like, bro, they really don't feel like they're from here, and they're giving me weird looks. So I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, that was fascinating. But I definitely want more experiences like that one, because that one changed my
Yeah.
life.
I think you will, especially with the CE5. I mean, I listen to a lot of tones, and so does Dakota. I mean, he's actually made tones. We've got tones up in our channel, and it's like CE5 inspired tones, and those like they help us like when we go to like astro travel. I mean, what kind of entities have you seen in your travels? What kind of alien entities have you seen?
I actually have not seen much. I've had
No.
interactions with spirits. I know like one spirit kept jumping in my dreams, and I was like
Right.
fighting this thing, and then it would change the dream up to try and scare me, and it wouldn't work. But it just looked like
Oh,
this shadow being with like red eyes, and it wouldn't leave me alone. And to the point where I was
yeah.
like, yeah, I know you're messing with me or jumping in my dreams, and then it bounced. But I have not yet to have any like crazy extraterrestrial interactions other than those people that I was talking about. These like
Yeah.
really tall, like really pale people, and their
Yes.
energy was like super powerful. Other than that, that's been it for me. I think those were
Yeah.
Nordics, tall whites.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dakota. I mean, it's quite interesting. I must admit.
It certainly is. There's so many ways that we could easily get into there, but I know you've done a lot of research into all these various different races. We have Elena Denon's book. We have the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac. What is one that catches your curiosity the most?
Oh, the extraterrestrial species almanac, 100%. Like
Yeah.
the one that first got me was Elena Dannon, so that one will always be in my heart. But
Yeah.
from then I was like, yeah, I need more of this, right? I need more. So then I came across the extraterrestrial species almanac, and I was like, okay, I bought it, and I love how in depth it is and how detailed the information is. Now Elena's is detailed as well, but
Mhm.
some of them, they aren't as like, it doesn't go as in depth as the almanac does. So that one was like a next level. I was like, wow, thank you, Elena. But now this one's like a huge step. And I'm actually curious as to where they get their information from, like I was saying. But that one, both of them changed my life.
That is so amazing, isn't it? I mean, it's. I mean, I've not read that book there that you're talking about. I've only read Elena's book. which I
Mhm.
think is an amazing book. And see
You're right.
some of the pictures of the extraterrestrials are absolutely outstanding. But I'll have to order that one because we are having a guest on soon. So Dakota, would you like to add anything?
Oh, I got to admit,
Teasing.
like my friend Chris said, we do have the author of the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac coming on the
Yeah.
6th, if he doesn't forget. We
Yes.
are very excited to have that happen. But out of curiosity, this is something we've actually had a lot of people report when it comes to CE5. That am I frozen right now?
No, you're
No,
good. Don't
no,
worry.
no, no, no. Fine.
All right. Things have been acting weird lately, so
Relax.
they must know what I'm going to do tonight. But
Yeah.
have you ever noticed any weird effects when it comes to when it actually playing the CE5 tones?
N- I haven't noticed anything yet, and I know for people it usually does. But I remember I did CE5 only once, and anytime I do, I still do CE5 meditations. Like I'll do one like I'm in the middle of meditating, and I'll be like, "Hey, I'll just send out a beacon, see if anything like sees," and I'll do that. But other than that, that's the only time I've ever played with tones. And actually, now that you say that, I'm gonna try that out because that's interesting to me. Maybe something more will come out of playing those tones, but I know how powerful they are, which is
Oh, they're
fascinating
powerful.
as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've noticed strange things happen when I play the tones. And I mean, Dakota's the same. Dakota plays certain tones. Dakota kind of zonks out. Dakota, don't you? I mean, I tried it when I first got that CE5 app. I did not believe in that app until I tried it that night and I seen that black triangle.
Mm.
And so there you go.
So that
Amazing.
basically that C5 changed your life as well. When did you
Yeah.
start? When did you do it?
But it was.
Oh, God.
I've seen 1, 2, 3. I've seen 3 UFOs. Right, but I think he's seen about 100.
I'm jealous.
It was
Jealous.
the first one. The first one I seen was, I would say, I was 17 at the time. Now, to put you in perspective here, I was
Oh, this
born in
is a
1981.
while ago.
Right, so I was born in 1981. Right, so it was before really drones and stuff. And I was out one night and I seen a little white dot in the sky, and I thought, "That's what's that?" And then it turned into 2 dots, and it turned into 3 dots, and it turned into 4 dots. It turned into 6 dots, and they were all going in round about each other. Right.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden they shot into each other, made 1 dot, and went straight up.
So they were doing because you hear a lot of that in CE5, how they do like when people do
Yeah.
them outside, then they always see like different things moving
Mhm.
around and stuff like that. So when you did more, did you see more of that?
After that, I seen another weird looking UFO that broke into different parts. It did kind of the similar, and then it went away. But then I get the CE5 app, and I was playing about with it, and it was during the day. I was just playing about with it during the day, and it was weird because I was standing next to a cell phone tower, and I don't know if it's maybe done something to
Mm.
unmask them, And I looked over and I could see this ship, and it was so weird because I've tried to describe it, and it was really old looking. It was the way the metal on it was really old, and it was just moving really slowly, and it would stop, and then it would go back the way, and it would stop, and it would go forward, and it would stop. And I tried to take a video with it on my iPhone, and my iPhone wouldn't work. The video would not work. It just would not. It just would not record.
So when you encountered these experiences, how did it change your perception of life or just overall the universe, the world? Like what changes happened from that?
Well, right. I will say this. Obviously, when I seen that, I thought to myself, right, we're no alone in this universe,
Okay.
right? But I still, in my afterlife beliefs and stuff like that, and alien life beliefs, I was still a wee bit borderline,
Mhm.
until, until I had my first experience with what was, let's say, the existence beyond, right? And I was took places, and I was took to like the Akasha records, right? It was like, to me, it was weird because it was like a cathedral, right? Imagine a cathedral, right? You know what it's like inside a cathedral, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was infinite, right? And all there was books and scrolls everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then they took me out and they taken me into this valley, and it was all flowers, but you could smell the flowers. When I woke up, I could smell the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen this place, and there was a city. I thought that was the afterlife. I honestly thought I was having like an out of body experience. That's what I thought it was, but it wasn't. I think it was. I was getting showed somewhere because I looked up and the sky was purpley with 2 moons, and when I didn't want to wake up for that because it was just, you know what it's like. You're somewhere where there's no pain, there's nothing. That you're just. They made me come back, and when I woke up, I was changed. I was like, there's more to life. There's more. There's more. There's obviously more.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's wild. Because I've also been reading. So I've been reading this book recently, and one of my followers' fathers wrote it, and
Yeah.
it's called One Face-to-Face Contact. And when I got it, honestly I underestimated it. I was like, okay, but I'm gonna just read it quick. And I started reading it, and he talks about this interaction with other beings that popped up in his room. And then he talks about the like huge changes he had consciously that really made him see the greater picture and like love, and
Yeah.
how everything, like the core of everything in the infinite life force is love and stuff like that, and how these beings don't even understand how it works totally either.
Yeah. For me, it was what I got for them was that they loved us. That's what that was their prime directives. All they wanted for us was goodness for us, because we're like them. They says we are all the same. That's what they said to me. We are all the same. One day you might come back as me, like my
Mhm.
species, or we're all souls. We're all souls. A great plan it's playing out as it unfolds. You see what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
And I think, Cassius, I think you're going to experience more. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it. I can feel it that you're going to experience something soon.
I can't wait. I'm ready, bro. I've been sitting here like, like what's gonna happen? I think my favorite interaction, what I've always dreamed of, was either having an astral projection experience where,
Yeah.
because I'm still working on my astral projection, so I want to be able to go out and gain knowledge and bring it back, or that, and I also want to have like interactions like physically with beings, like coming here and being like, hey, like being here in the physical. I always wanted something like that. And why is your face like that, Dakota? He's like, nah, you don't want that.
No, it's not that. It's just be careful what you wish for, and I can
I
go
know.
into that.
I'm
in
aware
a
of
sec.
that too. And so I always was like, hey, I want this, but I'm also like, ooh, but do I? So I don't know. I just know I definitely want interaction, and maybe that's also what will draw those things also coming to me.
See, that's the thing, though. What I've learned from my travels is that there's good, right? But there's also bad, right?
Of course, yeah.
And the bad entities, they will try and take you. They always try and take you. And it no usually works because Dakota's had the experience of this. I'll hand you over to Dakota because he's more in tune than I am in this subject.
Mm-hmm.
Dakota.
I'm sorry, I'm not exactly sure what
Away
all
there.
you think. My signal keeps bouncing around the second every time we get into the discussion. I'm just like, okay, knock it off. But no, it's the thing is with me, and there's been a lot of people who've started seeing these shows and they've heard some of my stories where I've recently got back in touch with some family members, and what they told me is that apparently abductions is a family occurrence.
Yeah.
And it says, it's going to get a little graphic, but where my grandmother, she's always been kind of told that she can talk to angels. And while it's initially I was skeptical when I try to be whenever these things, because you just never know anymore. She answered way too many things with accuracy that she shouldn't have known about. There's a large section of my family that it was cut off from due to some abuse situations, where apparently someone took her, made hybrid children, but they were needing their mother's milk because they were failing to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gone down to me where I have at least, it's looking more and more like I have at least 2 children with a woman from the Pleiades.
I remember you telling me
it's gotten
that.
to where these encounters have become so often and so detailed. I've been able to recreate images of them.
Yeah.
Based on everything I've seen. And
now, what do you do when people don't believe you? Like when people still think you are mad and still think this is all wild. How do you see that and how do you handle it?
I do that maniac laugh I just did a few minutes ago because when our friend Lisa Fry introduced us to CE5, I was already trying to do some sort of contact thing where I would flash my phone, use an app on my phone to flash the flashlight in Morse code, because I figured these are supposed to be highly intelligent beings. They've had contacts with our militaries. Who's to say they haven't picked it up? And I just start flashing it, and things would start coming out of the sky. I've seen at least about 10 or 12 craft within a mile from my house. I've almost gotten a speeding ticket because I saw a black triangle roughly a mile from my house. I gunned it to try to get closer, and little did I realize parked right underneath was a cop.
You're bad, eh? Jeez. Starting trouble.
It's like when people look at me.
Catch me.
It's like when people ask me about it and look at me, and I just say to them, "You have no idea what reality is."
But it's like that's the funny thing is that but they think you're like they genuinely think that you're crazy, but you genuinely know the truth.
Yeah, I know everything. I know why we're here. I know why everything exists.
I think you should write a book for real, though. You should actually put that information out.
We might be working on one.
Okay, yes, sir. I'll be reading that. Dakota's like, stop.
I don't. No. He's my he's writing it for me. Co-author.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
He has issues involving dyslexia, so try to help him out. He's my
Mm-hmm.
bro. I take care of my people. But when it comes to my own experiences, I have enough on tape of craft coming out and responding to me directly from these CE5s to where even some of the most skeptical people, I mean, there are people that work for the FBI I've talked to, because there's a lot of military bases around me. They've seen my stuff and they're like, Dakota, you better be careful. You're onto something.
Yeah. It's frightening.
See some of that footage later today.
It's frightening in a way, but then it's like you feel like kind of Christopher Columbus, don't you? You feel when every time you go to do one of these astral travels, you feel like you're exploring the universe. But I can only seem to get to 2 certain points. That's the only 2 points. I only get to like the purple planet with the moons, and I think that's what system is that in again, Dakota? Because a lot of other people have been seeing the same thing. It's got a purple atmosphere. Is it Titan? Am I thinking about Titan?
Yeah,
I heard the planets in our solar system are the ones that are like that have beings on it. Is Venus, of course. Mars had them, and they still have some presence on there. The moon, our moon, and Saturn's moons. I think Saturn's moons and Jupiter's moons. So they're saying that there's actually beings there. I found that really interesting because I'm like, wow, they're actually closer than you think. But now I'm like, I actually want to astral project and just see. Like, I just want to pop my eye in and be like, okay, and then like whip out real quick.
I think it's going to happen for you, Cassius. I think it's going to happen this week sometime. I think something, because I said to Dakota, I said something's going to happen to you. The next day, he had a visit. He had a visit in Dakota. When you go, do you want to tell?
Yo, you creep Dakota out. Look at him. He's like, Lord, this guy.
I know.
No, it's honestly, I was skeptical of him just because we do have a lot of fakers and too much. The way I say it, too much weird stuff has been going on to where I have to at least entertain. And like he said earlier, we have actually made certain tones inspired by CE5 that ETs may have given me in visions. I was able to recreate, and it brings them out. And as far as like my hybrid kids, just as an example, they're not just visiting me. At least 15 other people have said, Dakota, there's this kid that showed up and he looks like you.
Yeah.
And I just had to stop. And eventually, I mean, I have a picture I rendered of her. That's the one.
Whoa.
You can see the likeness, can't you?
Yeah, how'd you get that picture?
Here's how it happened.
She looks like you.
There was a friend of mine. She's actually also there's a bit of a backstory. A little over a year ago, with the company we used to work for, we were actually attacked on air on one of these streams by a dark entity. Tell you how bad it was. The first person that got affected seriously, and I think I saw him in the chat, he started coughing up blood. And he was bounced from the UK down to Texas, here in Idaho, where I'm at, up to Ontario, Canada, where a couple of our friends were. One of these people had severe enough issues come up where they've had to be hospitalized for mental health because it got so bad. They run a podcast and they started getting visions from this blonde-haired little girl with blue eyes. And she started talking to one of them. She's highly sensitive and showed herself. One of the clips they caught of her voice while they were doing their podcast said, "Mommy." I've been trying to figure that out for about 13 years.
Mommy.
So obviously, you can see where this is going.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what if? Now,
who the hell is mommy? That's the question.
That's the thing. The one who had the most issues was a woman. We were about the same age. I was like, what if? And I should have tried to keep it more strokes because she does have the physical appearance that you would associate with the tall whites, the real chiseled cheekbones, all that. So I was able to use an old picture of her in mine, decrease the age, add a little bit of baby fat. Then I showed it to her after she told me she had a visit without telling her the full process. And next thing I know, she's messaging me saying, Dakota, that's her. That's who I saw.
Yeah.
Wow.
And after a while, the real mother showed up.
Mommy. Okay.
With the baby brother. In fact, I was able to render her too.
And she's Pleiadian.
Yes.
Very.
Yes.
Wow.
In fact, I have recordings because I use for some of these contact sessions, I use what's known as a spirit box because there's so much overlap between spirit and UFOs. I figured might be worth a shot. I've gone over a lot of old recordings where this stuff was happening, and it keeps saying, your family misses you, Pleiades, starship. Then things are starting to come out of the sky to get my attention.
Yeah.
So what did you, again, like I asked Chris with his experiences, how did that change you when you first discovered all this? Like, how did your whole mental process in life change from that? I'm curious.
Holy crap, I'm not crazy.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Because for the longest I can remember, I've been dealing with the ETs for about 21 years now. The first incident took place where I was 5, and somehow I ended up 30 miles away from home one night, Neither one of my parents knew how the hell I got out. Thankfully, I turned up in my grandparents' house. They didn't know I was there. The dogs didn't even know I was there, and everything was locked up. So how does a 5-year-old child get out of his bed, walk 30 miles? It's pretty impressive sleepwalking if that's the case.
Yeah.
A locked house with nobody having any clue that they were even gone.
Wow. Wait, so how did you get there then?
Exactly.
Oh, you're still trying to figure that out. Okay, because I thought you had the answer.
No, it's from what it sounds like, and what we're actually want to do is put me under a regression thing to do as a kind of a special for the show. What it sounded like is that I had a very similar encounter that Elena did when she was younger. Something tried to came for me. There was a bit of a rescue mission. I'm still trying to recollect the details. But it comes down to that point. Unless there's a really impressive sleepwalking episode, how the heck did I do that?
It's amazing if you think about it. I mean, it's just that Dakota. I seen in my astral travels. I've seen beings like ladies and girls and stuff. And Dakota showed me the pictures, and I went, "I've seen them. I've seen them." And it's not just us; other people have seen it too. And it's madness. And I've just got a feeling, Cassius, something is. You've asked for it now, and you're going to experience something. I don't know how to say it.
I can't wait because I didn't think it would happen as soon as you said, but I was definitely like sometime in the next few years it's gonna happen.
I think it'll be sometime this week. I think they're just getting you ready.
The latest tone that they've helped us create calls them out even quicker.
Oh yeah,
Lord. Ooh, that might be too powerful for some people.
Or if there, like I said, the reason why I asked if there's any weird adverse effects, because when I hear CE5 tones, I can physically feel like electrical surges through my mind to the pattern of the tone. And there's other people I've talked to who tried it who experience very similar things. Now, for this latest tone, I'm having to be careful because one, they told me to set it at about 10,000 hertz. So for anybody who has headphones on, I have to be really careful to not make them deaf. But it puts them right into a trance.
Yeah,
like
kind
put the person that's listening to it in a trance.
Unless you know about it beforehand and you can block it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of the working theory right now, and apparently the CIA has something similar they've been doing since the Second World War. Whoever has those type of effects may not be fully human.
Oh, like if you go in a trance from is what you're saying?
When they start having those adverse effects where it starts the electrical surges and maybe even the trance, they may not be fully human.
No. It's not just that. You got to remember, tones are part of the universe. Tones are part of everything.
Isn't music like part of the universe? Like it's a universal thing. I always thought music was something like that.
I thought it was kind of funny that this latest one, when I finally rendered it, the sound of it sounded an awful lot like the recordings that NASA put out of the sun singing, where the way their EMF readers pick it up and get that kind of
planets
kind of tone to it. Exactly, it sounded a lot like that. I'm just like, what did you guys just show me?
You got to remember, I mean, the governments of the world are using sound waves as weapons. You think about crowd control and stuff like that. But what happens if sound waves are everything? That's how the world, the universe, everything works.
It's true.
Think about it. It's all attached. Everything's attached. Everything here's for a reason. even the human body emits this sound wave, and you absorb it. It's hard to explain.
This is why a lot of the music too, like when you see in popular, like the popular music nowadays, it's always, most of the time, it's super like super lower vibrational music. Like when you hear the like the
Yes.
hip hop music people listen to nowadays, or the gangster rap, and you hear all that foolishness. When I
Yes.
listen to it, I'm like, wow, the vibe is really low. Like you can't feel,
Mhm.
you don't feel love, and like even just thinking about this, just from like, if you don't really understand these things, and you don't believe whatever, like even just thinking about it, like when you listen to rap music, and when you listen to that gangster
Yeah.
rap talking about shooting up people, you don't feel good. Like you don't feel loving, you
No.
don't feel happy, right? And then when you listen to music talk about love and all that, you feel happier. So that right there should let you know the power of sound waves in music, period.
Oh yeah. I mean, you think of the sound waves, especially YouTube. It's got a lot of the like migraine. I suffer from migraines, but see when I listen to like a high 1,000 hertz frequency, it goes away,
Oh.
and it's. I think there's a lot more. I think there's more sounds about, but the human ears can't hear them. That's what I'm trying to say. I think everything is here for a reason. I think the tones help connect everything for a reason.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm trying to say.
I really definitely like everything. And like this book was saying, all things have a sound wave, a vibration. Everything is
Yes.
vibration. Everything is vibration.
Yes.
So when you start to see everything like that too, like how matter is matter, just it just vibrates on a different level. So
Yeah.
everything, like depending on how hard it's, like even when you become a higher vibrational person, you become lighter. And I don't know if you guys have any experiences with this, but I notice the higher vibrational I feel, of course, the more lighter I feel, because your cells are literally like less dense. But do you guys ever feel like your heart just is like very warm, or like your heart's very like, it feels like there's a lot of electricity in it? Because I find that for me.
Yeah. When I
Okay.
listen to the tones, the ones that Dakota's made, and the other ones that's been recorded with the CE5, it enlightens me. I don't know what it is. I do feel that kind of feeling that you're talking about in my heart. I feel like I'm one with the universe.
Yes. And it's, oh, I'm telling you, because I be in and out of 5D a lot. So like sometimes I'll be there for a few hours,
Yeah.
and then I'm out, and then I'm like go back in. So it's constantly like this. I'm learning how to stay longer, which is a
Yeah.
whole other journey on its own. But whenever I'm there, I could tell, like I could like communicate with the universe like 24/7 all day.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's so weird. It's scary sometimes. Like the stories, I'm gonna talk about that on my YouTube, because that's like a whole nother topic. But just the whole, like you feel it in your heart, you feel like you're surrounded with light, you just feel so bright. I'm gonna have to talk about this, because that's a whole nother thing,
Yeah.
how amazing you feel, and how light, like how energy works.
I just it's weird. Ever since I started listening to the CA5 tones, everything's changed for me.
I couldn't
Everything.
imagine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dakota?
I agree. Like I said, apparently this is something I'm still exploring, and because there's so much I missed. But when CE5 got introduced to me, mostly it feels like I unlocked a door and there was a party waiting for me on the other side that I didn't know about.
I love describing party.
Yeah.
That's the best way I know how to describe it.
Yeah. It's
Wow, that's
that is
so
what
interesting.
that is what it's like. And I think when you get to meet these beings, Cassius, I think it's going to change you totally. I know you're
I
changing it now,
already
but trust
I
me.
already feel like I'm being prepared, because even now, like yesterday, I remember this is like how the universe talked to me too, especially through numbers. So
Yes.
I was seeing a lot of fives, and usually I'll get the feeling of something like, okay, this is gonna be a day where something changes, whatever. And so then the universe will use numbers like commonly. So I saw the fives, and I was like, "Law, this is some huge changes are coming, right?" And I was feeling it, and I was like, "Okay, whatever." But yesterday, after I saw the fives, definitely yesterday was a life-changing experience for me. So now anytime I see the fives, I'm like, okay, changes, whether it's like a positive or negative experience, they're gonna change you. So I'm like, okay, whatever this is. And instantly I started reading this book I will show you guys as well. And the stuff he was saying linked with what I was experiencing, because like for a few years I would have experiences where I called like hyper awareness, where I was just always super aware of everything. Like, okay, like I'm in my body, I'm seeing out of my eyes, and like this plant's me. Like it's just like super awareness like that. And I always thought that was a hindrance. Like they called it hyper awareness. I always thought it was bad. And then I started to realize after that, actually, like in this book, he was like, yeah, when I had conversations with these ETs and we connected, and they showed me all of this, and like my consciousness rose because they like helped him in some way from the interaction, like connecting with him. And then he was explaining his hyper awareness in a way that I always had. So I was like, whoa, like I'm reading, I'm like, that's what happens. Like I experienced the same thing. So I was like, okay, whoa, like already I feel like I'm being prepared for something else.
You were meant to do this. It's like Dakota and me and others out there were meant to take this path in life.
100%.
And yours is starting to unfold as we speak, because I think something amazing is going to happen to you. It's got to change. It's got to change you. It's got to change you. You're not going to look at the world the way you look at it.
100%. 100%. And I know you guys are way more advanced than me, and you guys are way older than me. So you guys probably had way more experiences, and you guys are looking at me like the young guy just getting started. And that's the best part, because I'm like, ooh, I can actually gain some wisdom from you guys.
Dakota's only in his 20. What age is 20? 27 years. I'm 40.
I'm 26.
Really? Wow. Okay, but you still have way more wisdom than me in this stuff.
Yeah, don't feel bad. When he and I first met, he thought I was older than him, and he's turning 41 this year.
You got to remember, Dakota's traveled in light space. You know, he's probably aged quite a bit.
Jeez. Jeez. It's okay, Dakota. I got your back, okay? I got your back no matter what.
It's a magical experience, right? It's a magical experience. I mean, let's take the Akasha Records. Have you ever been to the Akasha Records, Cassius?
No, but my friend has. My friend has, and he goes there every once in a while, and especially when when we have a conversation, he's like, oh, do you want me to go? And I'm like, oh no, it's okay, like don't worry, like I don't want to stress you out or like drain your energy. But like whenever he goes, he always talks about, like, he got to talk to my guides and stuff like that.
Yes,
it was so fascinating. It was like you were a feline and all this, so I've got like some knowledge from it, but I haven't actually gone myself, which would be, I want to do when I astral project. That would be wild.
Yeah, I mean, when you go there, right, this is my advice. When you go there, sometimes the beings there will show you where your section is, and you can look.
Ooh, yo.
And it shows you your past lives and your lives to come.
Lives to come. You know what? I'm curious as to, when you guys learned about your past lives, did you see any like for example, I always had connections to lions, and people were always like, lions, if you were an animal, you'd be a lion, whatever. And I always called it old soul, and like I always like certain things. So for you, did you find that the things that you enjoyed, and or who you are, links to who you were in the past lives? Like, do you find any linkages to that?
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my past life. I've never really looked at my past lives. I don't want to know for some weird reason.
Interesting.
It's as if I know I'm getting tested, right? It's as if I know I'm in school, right? I know I can look when I'm in there in the Akasha Records. I know I can look and I can learn out everything, right? But it's better if I don't, because if I don't, when it's my time, I'll pass what I'm trying to do, then I'll pass my test. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Whereas if I look now and I cheat, I'll no pass when it's my time, and I'll have to come back and I'll have to do it all over again.
That's actually a wild way to look at it. I like that. And I actually thought about that one time. I was like, do I want to know? And so that's fascinating you say that, because that makes me now gives me permission to delve into that. But I know I want to know. I just don't want to know too much. It's like I'll ask my guides. I'll definitely ask my guides to show me and show me things that will help me in this lifetime. But I think for me, anyways, getting to understand your past lives for me is gonna really empower me. But again, like it depends how you feel. Like if you know it's gonna help you, then you're gonna want to do it. But I'm curious as a you, Dakota, what about you and all those past lives and stuff like that?
From what I've been able to tell, there's certain things that my guides, they tend to block me on. They're like, you're gonna want to wait. Just trust us on this. Everything you're doing now is stuff you've done before, dealing with spirits, dealing with alien abductions. In fact, there's one of my most recent cases, so to speak, that actually happens to be in the chat tonight. Hi, Phoenix.
Hey, Phoenix.
Our friend Lisa Price, she made an observation where apparently at some point in my lineage, I was actually a shaman from an African tribe, and I always deal with all these negative spirits, and they're like, so these things have been coming after me for a while. And it's to the point where, interestingly enough, when it comes to certain tones that I've made or sigils I've helped process, or even when situations where it seems like my kids are coming in to help, there's been numerous times, and it's actually been caught on video, on recording, where all these people that are coming to me for help, they try to channel their guides, or they're just asking. Maybe they feel like there's a deceased relative that's hanging around trying to keep an eye on them because they may be in a bad situation. Every single one of them, people I've never met in person before, they're saying, trust Dakota.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I feel like Keanu Reeves in the movie Constantine right now because of the number of times people are they're hearing my name come across the veil. Like, what are you people doing to me?
Bruh, you should really, I really hope that's empowering for you, because the fact that you have that, and it's like when you learn about that, I know for everybody, you feel it in your soul, it's right. You just feel it's correct, and then you don't even question it anymore. And the fact that you actually have that and you know about that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's empowering.
I
Are you
would
gonna
love
ever
to
do
know.
anything like that in your life? Like for real? Like, would you do any shamanism, things like that?
I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. If anything under the supernatural umbrella, I've dealt with it at some point. It's gotten to the point where there is a full-on situations where people are getting scratched up by evil beings. There's one example. There's this family that called me. This was right as the pandemic was starting up. This man was freaking out. He was moving his family across country to try to get away from negative entities that were in his house. I was like, all right, run through the usual tests. But then all of a sudden, he goes to mention my name. All of a sudden, I hear what sounds like a 5-year-old child, mind you. And this is going to get a little graphic for those of you who might be a little bit sensitive, but it sounds like a 5-year-old boy saying, you better put that fucking phone down or I'll kill you, bitch.
Wow.
Then he goes to tell me that about around that same age frame, his wife had a miscarriage. And the certain entity that we've identified it as has been known to mess with kids a lot.
Yeah. No. It's frightening, isn't it? It's frightening.
They're getting scared of me.
Wow.
Yeah, Dakota. I find Dakota's an amazing guy when it comes to spirits. He knows a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of experiences? Like you've had a lot of them in your life?
I was one of those kids who seemed to know things. Say, like, as an example, the earliest that a family member's been able to tell me was that I went up to my stepmom one day, put my hand on her stomach and said, my sister's in here. Next day, she's not feeling well, goes to the doctor to get checked out. Yeah, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
What? Oh, that's when you were little?
Yeah, I was about 2 years old when that happened. So this stuff has been affecting me my whole life. I've only been doing this officially for about almost 11 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Jeez.
It's an amazing journey Dakota's on.
Yeah,
and now you're here to join the crew.
Yo, it's like I'm actually fascinated by his story because from young, bro, like from young, he's been having these experiences. Like,
oh yeah,
I've had when I was little, I didn't have much. I had a lot of like a lot of empathy experiences and like being an empath, but I haven't had any wild experiences like that. So that's really cool to hear that. Other than some ghosts, I've had some ghost experiences, but none where I'm like really talking to them or nothing like that.
I've experienced some stuff when I was young. I've seen spirits. I've seen things move. The best one that I can remember, and I was talking to Lisa, one of our good friends, Lisa, about this from what's her channel's name? Lisa's channel's name, Dakota? Is it My Mystical Life? I know my memory's just totally away tonight. And she actually said that that's what that was. And how can I explain it? This is, and it's really quick. It plays out really quick. I was in a white room, right? Totally white, walking down a hallway, right? Beside me, there's people walking along with me, right? Behind me, there's lots of people, right? So imagine this, you're walking down this, and it's really, really bright light, right? But you can't see nothing, but there's people behind me, and there's people walking with me, because they're going to the same place, right? And then I wake up in a hospital room, right? And I look around about me and there's green tiles everywhere, right? So you don't think anything about that. It's always laid in my mind. And I can remember being picked up and put in scales. Okay? And I never thought any more about it until one day I was talking to the doctor that delivered me. And I was telling them about this. And I says, I had green tiles. And he went, that was the colour of the delivery room, they had green tiles.
Oh, what? Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a hall, and it was like an infinite hall, and it was really bright white, but it didn't hurt. And behind me, it was as if I had family behind me. I knew them, and it was as if they were waving me off. Right? But I wasn't the only one walking down this, where there were other people the same as me doing the same thing, and they were waving them off.
So I hear about this from what's her name? I can't remember her name now, but she talked about this, Dolores Cannon, and she talked about, when there's always a waiting room before you incarnate, and they're gonna say bye to you and stuff, and then you're gonna go and wow,
that's what it was. That's what it was.
So cool.
And I can remember it was split second. It's a memory that sticks with me. It'll stick with me here to the end of time probably. And it's green tiles, getting weighed, and then waking up in like a kind of cot, and then that's it. I don't remember. I can remember walking down this hallway, and it was like it was getting like narrower, and there was people standing. There was women standing next to me. There was men standing next to me. And we were all walking down, and I looked over my shoulder, and I could see everybody, and all that.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I remember from young, I remember telling my mom all the time. I remember being in her stomach, and she always laughed because she's like, "Remember when you used to say that when you were little?" And I was like, "I still actually remember that. Like it was just black and water, and I just remember hearing water, and I always wanted to know what that was, and I always told her it was me being in your stomach. So that's the closest thing I compared to your experience. But wow."
Yeah,
you guys are fascinating.
Yeah. It makes you wonder if that's what it's like when you die. Do you go back up that tunnel? Is there a separate one at the other side?
You're right. Yeah, you never know. Wow,
you never know till it's too late.
Yeah,
till your turn.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yo.
Oh,
I wish there
I'm
was
the
someone who
oldest,
could just
you know.
go and
Tonight.
see what it's
Wow.
like and then come back. Like that's all we need is one person to be like, okay, this is it. But from what we know so far, when you pass away, is you from what I'm hearing, you don't have a physical body anymore. So you're just your soul, your spirit. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know where I am. Like they're in the astral realm until they go through the light, which leads them to where they went to
Yeah.
before they incarnated. That's my my general understanding right now, but I definitely want to do some more in-depth research on that because I know that's the general, but I want to know the details, like really what's going on.
Dakota's got a trailer for us all tonight, guys. So when you playing that, Dakota?
Yes.
We do see this.
Yes.
I've not seen it yet. So
Warning, as some of you who've been following the show for a while now know, we've actually been talking about potentially doing up a documentary that focuses on what's life like for contactees, how these experiences, how things can be backed up. I mean, there's some people that, just reincarnation as an example. People are skeptical that, that sounds too crazy. You also have to remember Carl Sagan was even impressed by some of the stories when he was alive and said, yeah, we should probably research this a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So, because we are getting a lot more attention than I ever thought we would, I have put out some contacts to Hollywood to try to get some more attention to the show. I've put together a little trailer using real footage of these ET encounters, to which, if Cassius is interested, I try to style it up all nice to try to get you all excited. We would love to have you as a part of.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like as part of the documentary, that'd be super cool. When I get a very in-depth one, when I actually get some more, I would love to tell my story.
All right. Well, I've styled up this trailer. It's about 4 minutes long, kind of show you what we have in mind on how to present it. So,
okay.
Here we
see
go.
the trailer.
Can you imagine? Where am I? Who is this person that's in front of me? And I think it's fair for anybody to have those thoughts running through their head in that moment. A few more details on the guy started to appear, then all of a sudden he stops right in front of me. He said, Dakota, there's someone here to see you. After this guy spoke, he stepped aside and there's this little girl behind him. The first thing I notice is that this little girl looked just like me. Admiring the stars. Son of a bitch.
Did somebody just move her camera there? Did you see that?
She just kicked it. She's not here. She's there. She's not really going to see this.
No, anyway. Sound she will be.
No. She's too far ahead. She's trying to pull out.
She's about to poo.
She's trying.
Did you hear the voice?
Trying to focus. Only to discover Was that your ship I saw? Someone was looking for you. Starship. Sun. Starship. Two, three. There's literally something right above me. Olivia, baby girl, is that you? You okay? Change your life forever. We are light. Kickstarter campaign coming soon.
Wow. That actually has so much potential. I see a lot that could happen with that show, you know.
Yeah.
A lot has happened.
Yeah, a lot has happened. I mean, it's what's happening, which will probably come out in that documentary tell is quite intense. But we'll tell you after the show, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Awesome. I see so much potential. I hope I hope that actually goes somewhere because cool. Wow.
Yeah.
And I know, look how hyped Dakota is. He's like, "Yep, yes sir, yes sir."
Yeah.
That's all my making.
Yep. He played those special tones at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was quite interesting. So that's us an hour, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank you, Cassius, for coming on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk to you obviously after the live. And please, guys, check out his TikTok and check out his YouTube channel, guys, because it's awesome. Because I was watching.
Thank you guys for inviting me. It was so fun, and I can't wait to do it again. And it was nice to see all the people that are in the live as well. I've been reading all your comments, so thank you guys.
Yeah, they're brilliant. We've got brilliant subscribers on this channel. Absolutely brilliant. So, Dakota, without further ado.
All right. We'll send off everybody. Again, thank you, Cassius. It's definitely been one of our more interesting shows. We'll see how this thing unfolds as we go about.
Mm-hmm.